what were some of the major revolutions that you saw from your early years to kind of where you were in the education side to where you're at now, and kind of what you think are going to be some of the upcoming ones?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to be able to take a step back and look perhaps a little more broadly, certainly more broadly, and hopefully more objectively at the entire ecosystem that we call geospatial, because it's not only changing, but it's changing rapidly. And what we maybe spent a lot of time on doing previously, like digitizing, I might not need to do that anymore. And I think that's going to be accelerated through tools like AI, for example. I tried to graph this out one time, and I wound up with sort of this profile of a mountain. And about a third of the way up in the mountain, I drew a plateau that I wound up calling the points, lines, and polygons plateau. It's like when we all started out with GIS, we weren't very good at it. And then we all got up to where we felt like we were pretty good at points, lines, and polygons. And sort of we're all dancing around here, patting ourselves on the back, saying we're really good at points, lines, and polygons. But what we're not acknowledging is that the mountain continues up, right? And so what comes after that?
Right.
And I think, right now what we're seeing are not only new advances in higher resolution and different types of data capture. I mean, what happens when all of my polygons are derivatives of scans, and that I don't really need to digitize that anymore as a discrete element? Those are the kinds of things I see automation coming for first. I think there will be a pivot to more value on discernment. Okay, you collect all this data, so what? What do I do with it? What does it mean? Sort of that analyst level, the next level of looking at data. I find it very interesting to travel. I'm fortunate to travel around the world and see what's happening in different regions. And I can go to certain regions of the world and say, okay, they're advanced. They're ahead of what's happening in Europe or in the United States, North America market. And then usually follows the things I see in somewhere like the Middle East, I'll see 18 months later in the US market. Right.
Wow.
So I can go to the Middle East today and I can tell you projects that are using hyperspectral imagery on a daily basis. That doesn't happen in the US.